COVID-19, why you do this to me? I really don't like being stuck in quarantine. I have no toilet paper, I don't even have a snack. Hey, coronavirus, I want my life back.
You didn't even notice, did you, Parker? You didn't even notice. Did you notice, Parker? No? He's shaking his head. No. Did anybody out there notice? Did anybody out there notice? Let's see. I'm on the comments. Hello. Oh, hello. Did anybody notice? Okay, play the intro again, Parker. Okay, fast forward just a bit. Just skim through this a little bit more. Okay, here we go. All right, now watch. Just watch, okay? Here we go. Watch this. I can't believe you missed this. Here it comes. Here we go. Bam! Look at that. You're on the credits. What'd that take? 53 shows? You're an invaluable member of the crew. You're the only member of the crew, but you're an invaluable member. Evening, everybody. How are you doing? And you notice that I have resorted to wearing hats. I'm proud to wear hats of the different services, such as the OPP. Special hello to all of our officers and frontline officers in the OPP across the province. Because my hair, all right, it's getting long. It's actually I'm going to braid it pretty soon. I was thinking even about buying one of these.
Before the Flowbee, only a skilled professional could produce a good layered haircut. Tens of thousands have been sold to satisfy.
This commercial is from the 80s or something, 70s or the 80s.
It really works.
Proper suction is the key.
Yeah, proper suction is the key. Remember that to a good haircut.
This ingenious device lets you give yourself and family perfect haircuts every time.
Yeah.
Tens of thousands.
Yeah, believe it or not, they still sell the
Flowbee.
Why? They still do. They still do. Okay, now, we are hearing more from the Premier that there is going to be more news tomorrow about other sectors of the economy opening up. There has been a little bit of back and forth by some people warning it is still too soon. So we're going to have to take this as it comes. Here's what the Premier had to say this afternoon.
With the progress we've made, I'm confident we can move forward. On Thursday, we will share more good news. More good news about getting people back to work. More good news about opening workplaces, getting paychecks out the door. More good news about slowly getting back to normal. On Thursday, we will share more details about the next stage of reopening our province. We'll be reopening more low-risk workplaces, seasonal businesses, and essential services.
Okay, so we're going to hear more tomorrow. It is tough. As we talked to John Tory yesterday, it is tough being the leader of the province or of a city, a municipality, because you're walking that line of trying to keep people healthy and safe, but at the same time, you have an economy that you want to keep healthy as well. You're going to hear a lot of complaining tomorrow from some saying it's too early. I don't know. As one person once said, I heard it on TV a couple of weeks ago, I'm not a doctor. So the best we can do is take it in stride and just keep following all the proper practices we have learned this far about washing our hands, about not going near people if we're sick, about watching out for people who are immune compromised. So we're going to continue on this path for a while, but parts of the economy are inevitably going to have to reopen. So we'll see what the Premier says tomorrow, and we'll talk about that, of course, tomorrow evening. Today, I'm getting hungry just thinking about the show that we're going to have today. We are going to be talking about tomorrow, which is # To Go Wednesday. It's been a call for Canadians on Wednesdays to order out to support small business and small restaurants. And so my mouth is actually watering right now. So I remember we had Matt on. Well, no, it's when it is. I know there's a lot of different confusion, but it is Wednesday. So we have brought on two experts in the field. Now, first of all, Matt is joining us again, Matt McNamara from Tourism Toronto, and he promised to come back. We're going to be talking about the website To Go Toronto, Matt.
Hi, how's it going? Thanks for having me back.
All right, and you are in good company today. We have Suresh Das, who is a food writer, a food expert, a photographer. You also take care of the CBC Food Report. Food is no stranger to you, and you are no stranger to food. Welcome to you, sir.
Thank you, Kevin. I love eating across the city. You're right. Yes.
And by the way, congratulations are in order. You are the father of a newborn baby. How old is the baby?
So Nolan turned 3 months about a week ago. So if you hear him, this is live. Just warning you ahead of time.
That is fine, and congratulations to you. And
Thank you.
And I guess your wife had her first Mother's Day on Sunday.
Yeah, her first Mother's Day on Sunday. We did the whole isolation FaceTime with her mom and my mom. It was a bittersweet day, but I know we made the best of it. I cooked her a couple of meals. We went for a walk. Life is good.
All right. So again, there's some confusion right now because there's actually Takeout Tuesday, there's Takeout Wednesday, there's Takeout Thursday. Here in Toronto, Matt, we've sort of picked Wednesday, right?
Yeah, it's a national initiative, Takeout Day, and it sort of coincided at the same time we started to launch this new website called togotoronto.com, and the only impetus behind it was essentially restaurants have had to pivot so quickly to adjust to COVID-19, decimating their businesses when doors started to shut. So we saw this as an opportunity to sort of aggregate the community together, and so far it's been doing great. And we're seeing people logging in and going to those restaurants and checking different things out from end to end of the city. And
Suresh, here, I'll just bring up our camera here. Hold on, there we go. Suresh, we when we hear about delivery and they say, hey, anybody want to do takeout? Oh, I don't want pizza again. I don't want Chinese food again, because up until until a few years ago, that's all that really delivered, and it's what we get used to. But my friends, as we said for the title of the show, delivery choices, and not just pizza. There are a lot more, right, Matt? Right, Suresh?
Yeah, I mean, we live in obviously one of the most multicultural cities in the world. You know this, but along with that comes just the wide array of food options that we have for dining. But with delivery services and this passion for food and takeout in the last couple of years, we've really seen the bar being raised to to Toronto being one of the top cities in the world when it comes to the kinds of foods that we can get to go and get delivered. So you and I can have a conversation and say, do you feel like sushi? And we can probably find the best sushi in the city delivered to us. Whereas a decade ago, probably not. The options were far more limited. But now, I feel like we've hit a bit of a takeout and delivery renaissance in the last year, and obviously with COVID too, kind of pushing momentum. So the options are quite endless. We could eat something different every day of the week and not get bored.
Yeah, and Matt, I mean, we saw the influx of the food trucks over the last couple of years as well, with the same kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, food truck culture is incredible. And the amount of good food you can get from them is pretty ridiculous. And it's no longer just grabbing a hot dog on the side of the street. It's you can get authentic food. Like Suresh was saying, we're so multicultural. We have such diversity here, and our food scene reflects that in every possible way. You can go to restaurants that's serving the highest end stuff and get this incredible food, as much as you can go to a place that you can get a $5 meal. It'll be just as good. So we're pretty fortunate here in many capacities for that.
Okay, we are going to get to these websites because there are two we want to talk about. We've already mentioned the To Go Toronto site from Tourism Toronto. And Suresh, you have a very interesting Google Maps site as well that I believe was your initiative. Tell me about that before we get to it.
So, yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, most of my work goes to CBC, where I have a show on CBC every week where I tell people to go somewhere and eat something, and here's the story, and here's the story behind the person and the place, etc. But when it comes to social media, I really use Twitter as a sandbox for all the stuff that doesn't necessarily make it onto the show. It's also a faster moving platform for me. So when we went into lockdown, I was just hearing all these stories from chefs and owners, and we're not talking just the ones that are downtown, like the mom and pop places in Brampton and Scarborough that were struggling to figure out what to do. Because a lot of these places can't afford to close for a month or two. And at that point, back in March, we had no idea what was going to happen. So I was just getting all these sort of snippets of things. Some restaurants were switching to curbside service. Some of them were doing delivery. So I figured, why don't we put this somewhere and put it on a platform that's malleable and that can be updated from time to time. So I figured, let's create a Google map. The easiest thing to do as a person that likes to eat is to use a map, right?
Well, I started this Google map. Well, let's take a look at it as you're talking about it. So let's bring this one up, Parker, the web, if we could. Hold on one second. This one right here. There we go. Hold on. There we go. I've switched to it now. Okay, bring the address up again, because this is a weird kind of address. You can also just Google it. You go to bit.ly/Toronto Takeout. Now, Bitly was as a URL shortener. So bit.ly/Toronto Takeout. So what am I looking at here now? I'm sort of playing with the map.
So essentially, this is aggregated by people filling out a form or sending me a tweet or sending me an email and telling me, hey, that mom and pop place is open for delivery or takeout, and here's what they're doing. So I just kind of manually updated this map one by one, started off with small restaurants, then kind of expanded to breweries that were doing delivery in the city, to wineries. So essentially the idea is like, look, if you're at home and you are thinking of getting takeout, you can open this map and you can kind of zone into your area, to your neighborhood, and see what's open in your area for pickup or for delivery. Okay. So that's just rudimentary. That's like the very simple sort of functionality of the map.
This is amazing. So let's just pick one here that you know what, I'm gonna go a little like, we know there's great places downtown. We know there's great places. Let's just pick one up here in North York. I'm gonna go out towards Don Mills and the Highway 7 area. So we're getting out of the city. So there's a place here, Donbury. Takeout and delivery via Uber Eats, Skip the Dishes, Ritual. So you've got whether or not they have takeout, whether or not they have delivery. This is fantastic.
Yeah. So the idea is you can either stop by for curbside, or there is a delivery service, whether it's something that's internal or third party. I mean, the information is very simple, but I think it just gives people enough to decide what they want to do for dinner, right? I mean, in some cases I have menus listed on there. In some cases, it's just the fact that they're open for delivery.
Do you have a favorite, or are you allowed to say that?
Well, I mean, like I average like a dozen places a week before COVID. And after COVID, I feel like I'm still getting my takeout fixes. Listen, if you're downtown Toronto, I think Labora, which is a restaurant on King Street, by Spadina, Labora.
Now,
they're kind of like a Middle Eastern, Mediterranean sort of.
I have to figure out how to search them here. Oh, wait. Okay. What is it?
Labora.
B as in Bob? O-R-A.
R-A.
Okay.
If you like paella, if you like rice dishes, I feel like their rice dishes are insane. So I've gotten Labora a few times. But also, look, nothing fancy. What about fried chicken? There's fried chicken places too, like Brando's Fried Chicken is on the map, and there's a place called Cabanos that's also excellent.
Okay, Brando's. Hold on, I'm using my big thumbs here because I'm on my phone. Brando's,
Punch and Cabanos.
Punch and Cabanos. Okay, so that says I'm presuming that is C-A-B.
C-A-B-A-N-O.
N-O, Cabano. Okay.
Yeah.
So now...
So this place, it's known for like fried chicken curbside and burgers curbside.
Okay, hold on for a second. I am. You have to pardon me because I am typing wrong. C-A-B as in Bob. A-N-O.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not getting a return for it. Maybe it's Cabanos. Maybe I had to put
at Young and Wellesley. It's known for Yeah, it's on the map.
Okay, why don't I just go to Yonge and Wellesley then on the map? So if you can't find it, if I can't spell it right, I'm probably spelling it wrong. Where are we here? Right here. Okay, and so we're gonna go where to Yonge and Wellesley?
Yeah, it's at Yonge and Wellesley. It is on St. Nicholas Street. So if you go Yonge and Wellesley, and then you kind of like zoom into the west side where Raman Rajan is, it's just further up from.
Okay, I'm screwing up somewhere here because I've got a sushi. I got the Wonton Kitchen, but you know what? It it is what's that? It's the little one. Well, Parker's going to help me here. Is it that one here? No, I'm not sure. The riddle. No, I'm not. You know what? The thing is, there's so much here, and like you say, so what's the Bierstein mean? Is that a brewing company?
Yeah, so I mean, like, look, we started off. I started off by listing places that are doing to go, but Toronto is a fantastic brewery city. There are tons of city breweries, and breweries pivoted really early on when COVID hit, and they started doing delivery and curbside pickup. So, you know, we make amazing beer in the city. There are over 20 or 30 city breweries. So I wanted to make sure that I can put that on the map as well, so people have options to get their favorite pale ales and their sessional pilsners.
Now, Matt, we're going to come back to this map site, but Matt, we're going to swing now over to, or pivot over to now, togotoronto.com. Tell me about this.
Yeah, firstly, I just want to give all credit to Suresh. He got this started so quickly when COVID hit. It was remarkable. So To Go Toronto is really an extension of the work that he started. And To Go Toronto is basically it's an aggregator. It's what we do at Tourism Toronto is we tell stories. We take the best of Toronto and we promote it to the world. So what we wanted to do was be able to aggregate these restaurants and then market it out to people. So if you wanted to do takeout, delivery, you can sort by either of those options. You can sort by cuisine style. You can sort by neighborhood. And one thing that was really important to us about To Go Toronto was that it was inclusive to the type of delivery service you have. So whether it's Uber Eats, whether it's a different delivery service, we wanted them all. Whatever you're using, whatever restaurant would help restaurants get that business, we wanted to drive them there.
So the other thing too, and this goes for Suresh's site as well, is you are asking people for their suggestions as well, so that this is not a matter of you're doing all the work, but if you want to add your restaurant or you even want to update a listing that you're on.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very active site right now, right? The map is ever changing. I'm trying to update it on a daily basis. So if you look at the descriptions on the side, there's a link to a form. So if you happen to be in your neighborhood in Leslieville and you see that there's a place that's doing tacos to go, I want you to tell me about that place so I can put it on the map, so that this is, like we're using the power of social media, but also the power of a community to be able to build this and keep this updated.
Now, I've had a lot of people talking about the different takeout places here in the GTA, and they want to know about areas beyond. And you do reach in some areas. I'm seeing a lot down, of course, the wineries and that, but restaurants down in Niagara and beyond. In fact, I see a couple in Kitchener.
Yeah, I mean, like I've tried to keep it as far as far and wide as possible. It's really hard to cover the GTHA and beyond because things are changing on a daily basis. Restaurants are trying things, realizing it doesn't work, and they're closing. So it's really built on feedback that I get. So I mean, like you'll see some restaurants in Hamilton, obviously, some in Ajax, some as far north as Newmarket. But it's really built on the submissions form. So if you send me something, I'll populate it.
Okay. So Matt, let's try something here. So I want delivery.
Are you ordering it to my house?
Yes, I will.
Let's do it.
No, I'm not going to do this now. I've actually had my dinner. Okay, so I'm looking at, and this is a chance to try something out, right? Especially, I mean, if you haven't tried, say, what do we have? A Korean barbecue, Ethiopian food is amazing. Now is the time. So let's say Persian. All right, so let's say Persian food. and I can get a list of the different restaurants that have Persian food. So let's say the Taste of Persia. And then here it gives me details. 45 minutes or less, live updates, best selection. So I can continue with that. And here, I'm just going to do that. So what else can you do in the site once you've selected the restaurant?
So once you select the restaurant, it takes you directly to their exact service that they're using.
Yeah.
If they're using Uber Eats, it goes right there. If they're using their own website to take orders, it goes to that site. So we made it really, really simple for the end user. It was also really important for us to have all that content fed by the restaurants themselves. So the restaurants would email us to add their listing, and they can update them through our backend portal as much as they want to. So like Suresh said, like, restaurants have had to change so quickly, and it's such a fluid situation that just giving the flexibility to make sure that things can get updated was really important for us. Mm-hmm. And so hopefully it's working out.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break just for a breather here. When we come back, though, Suresh, on Friday, it wasn't pretty, but I did a Where in Toronto quiz with Matt. And he didn't fare all that well. He went away with his tail between his legs. So no, it was a very difficult quiz. So he has said that he has revenge planned, and so I'm gonna use you as a phone a friend, if that's okay, Suresh. He is going to quiz us on tourism in Toronto and see how well we do on that. So we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll come back right after this.
COVID-19 is a serious health threat, but Canadians have always overcome our biggest challenges by looking out for each other and all doing our part.
Even if you don't have symptoms, you can spread COVID-19 to others and put lives at risk. So stay home. Your actions can be the difference between life and death.
New advice is posted daily on canada.ca/coronavirus. Check regularly and follow instructions. Stay home, save lives.
A message from the Government of Canada.
Be the hero the world needs right now. Wash your hands.
Okay, coming up later on this week, we have tomorrow, Dr. Jason Fung will be here. He is the intermittent fasting expert. He is the foremost expert on it in the world, or one of them. In fact, helped write the book on intermittent fasting. We're going to talk about that and how you can use it to treat diabetes very effectively and in a very healthy manner. Then, on Thursday, Shauna Parr, she is a life coach, and she's going to say enough is enough. You talk about doing things better. You talk about improving. No, we are going to, as Nike says, just do it. So that is on Thursday. We're going to be talking about that. So a busy week. We are back with Matt McNamara from Tourism Toronto and Suresh Das, who is a food writer and also hosts CBC. It's the CBC Food Report, Suresh?
Yeah, I'm the food guide for CBC Metro Morning. So every Thursday morning at 7:45, there's a story about an interesting place in the GTA or beyond, Niagara even. An interesting place to go eat, and here's a story about the person running it. It's this idea of we come from somewhere else in the world to this place, we build our culture here, bring culture here. Tasty food is the bottom line.
Okay, so now, Matt, you're getting, you know what? You're getting a whole bunch of support and comments that I was tough on you and poor Matt, and everybody is feeling for Matt and that on Friday. So here is your chance to redeem yourself, and Suresh is going to join me. Now, I have the advantage of having someone help me, someone who knows the city very well, so keep that in mind, sir. Let's see what you got for me. What do you got?
Okay, so this is Matt's revenge here. I'm Kevin, and Suresh gets to participate in this as well. So I've got 5 questions for you, Kevin and Suresh. Some of them easier than others.
Okay.
We'll see how you do. Hopefully the Facebook comments can chime in as well.
Okay.
Okay, so it should be a fairly easy one right now. How many restaurants do you think there are in Toronto?
Now, is this multiple choice?
No, you just got to straight up get the answer.
Is it more than 4?
It is more than 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Suresh.
Ballpark guesses.
Suresh.
Okay, I'm gonna say 9,000.
Really?
Okay.
Oh my gosh, I was going to go in the hundreds. Okay, no.
And so you mean Toronto core or the GTA? Give me, what's my perimeter here?
I believe this is the GTA.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with. I'm gonna say 9,000.
I'm going to go with.
You know what? I'm gonna say 14,000.
Okay, I'm going to say 14,001. So who is closest without going over? Hold on.
Over, however,
hold on.
really close in the...
Hold on. All right, so you sort of gave me a little bit of a hint there. Could it be 9,000? I'm going to go back. Was he right with the 9,000 or close to it?
It depends on your definition of Toronto. It depends on or your border, right? So.
Right. So the answer is 8,100.
Wow, that's a lot.
Okay.
You're really close.
Right, okay.
Really close.
That is a lot. I had no idea there would be that much. That's amazing. And let's hope they're all still there when we get through isolation.
Yep, that's the hope.
Suresh, what are you hearing from restaurateurs around the city?
The news is not really good. It's a combination of people that are trying to do interesting things. They're trying to do delivery or takeout or curbside, or sell even their pantry ingredients. So it's like if there's a Thai restaurant in a city and they're trying to do delivery and takeout, they're also trying to sell some of the interesting ingredients that they cook with in case you want to stock up your pantry at home. But generally, the news is not good in a sense that landlords are not necessarily giving some slack here with rent abatement. So there are some restaurants that are trying to do delivery to see if they can meet rent. But, I would not be surprised if we lose 30 to 40% of the places that we love in the next year.
We can't let that happen, folks. We just can't let that happen. And that's why these websites are so important for you to utilize. And, and one of the very tough things that these restaurateurs and the owners are facing is that they have no choice in some cases but to rely on Uber Eats and Skip the Dishes and DoorDash. And yet we've heard all the stories about how they're paying top dollar and through the nose to use these services, and they're not realizing a lot of the profit from that.
No, absolutely. I mean, most of the delivery services are quite rapacious, right? So it's you've seen that in the last week. I think a lot of people are realizing just how much delivery services skim off the top. So a lot of the restaurants are kind of banding together and they're coming up with their own delivery programs.
Good.
Which, I mean, I don't know if it's sustainable, but it's working right now.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so we need to support them. We're going to go back to these websites in just a moment. I want you to really consider trying something different and trying something smaller. Don't always go for the big franchise restaurants. There's thousands, as we've heard, of other restaurants out there. Okay, Matt, question number 2.
Okay, question number 2 is not a food-related question.
Okay.
You might know this, Kevin. I'm not sure. What neighborhood in Toronto once declared itself an independent state?
Oh, I don't know that. That's a good one. Suresh, any idea?
I feel like I know this. I feel like it's like Midtown Toronto somewhere. It's like it's not Rosedale. It's not the Junction.
Is it a neighborhood? Is it a old township? Is it can you?
It is. It's not a well-known neighborhood. It's not as well known as, say, the Annex or.
Okay, so all right, so, and I mean that would make sense, Suresh. I mean that's where Montgomery's Tavern was, right? Was up Midtown.
Yeah. Okay. So can you give me a hint, Matt? Is it like, okay, so I think it's Midtown. I think it's like Eglinton West or St. Clair West. It's one of the
You're just a little bit north of where it is.
So it's more uptown.
You're probably not going to get the name.
Okay. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think. Well,
he's really trying to get back at you.
Yes, I know. So Summerhill.
I don't know the answer to this.
Summerhill.
Yep. I will tell you the answer.
What is it?
Did anyone on Facebook guess it? I'm not sure.
Oh, wait. Again, let's see. Is there anybody on someone says, I think, Greektown, Cabbagetown, Davisville?
Jungle.
Which one?
So here it is. It's called the Republic of Rathnelly.
Do you know what I saw? Okay,
really?
I saw a street sign that said that. You know how we have some neighborhood signs, and I saw the Republic of Rathnelly. Where that was Lower Forest Hill.
It's near like Avenue McPherson.
Yeah, I saw a sign there, and I meant to Google it when I came home, and I didn't. And shame on me now for that. Do you know much about the story behind that? That's interesting.
I do know the story. So this is in the 60s. They had a national anthem. They had a flag. The government of Canada declared them a state for one day just to give them that.
Really?
So it was 1967. The residents of Rathnelly Road, mostly like rooming houses, they took the street and decided to have this tongue-in-cheek neighborhood ploy declaring themselves an independent state. Now, this sort of picked up steam over the course of a couple of years. So they started issuing passports. They drafted a neighborhood constitution. They created a neighborhood fund. They even elected a queen, a longtime resident named Eileen Robertson.
Wow.
And here's the fun thing. She had a coat of arms, and her coat of arms, which is pretty relevant for COVID-19, was a martini glass.
I love that. That is okay. I love stories like that. Okay, Matt, give me another one.
Okay. We're going back to the food-related questions.
Okay.
What iconic Toronto item was created by the William Davies Company?
What iconic Toronto item was created by the William Davies Company?
And I will say it is a food item. So, I've already...
A food item. Oh, okay. Well, okay. Suresh.
Kevin, you have no guesses?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm the only one who doesn't know here. I guess. Okay, so So it's going to be food related, and it is going to be iconic Toronto food related.
So think about
what's an iconic food in Toronto that is our thing.
Street meat.
It's close. It's a portable food item. It's served in a very popular market in Toronto.
Okay, you know what? I'm embarrassed now because
the St. Lawrence Market.
So it's yes.
Carousel
female bacon sandwich.
Yeah, is that
female bacon?
Okay.
So I gave you the backstory here. It was Pimo Bacon. According to Toronto oral history, Davies sent a side of brine-cured pork loin to relatives in England in the early 1900s. And now, to help preserve the shipment, he packed it in ground yellow peas to help preserve it. And it was so well received that he started selling it here locally in Toronto.
And
then
So peas becoming pea meal.
That's right. Correct.
Wow.
Now they use cornmeal now as opposed to pea meal. But so Davies, the company, was believed to be the largest pork plant manufacturer in the British Empire, processing nearly 500,000 hogs a year on Front Street, which is how Toronto earned the name Hogtown.
Yeah.
Well, there are conflicting stories on how Toronto earned the name Hogtown. One of them is that I have heard that. The other one is, of course, because of the Hogg family, H-O-G-G, and after the namesake for Hogg's Hollow, which is up at Yonge and the 401. So there's been stories back and forth about that. I kind of believe that your version of it, though, or the actual Hogs, H-O-G-S.
Yeah, who knows, but it's a fun little lore, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Okay, I'm not doing well. What am I? I'm 0 for 3.
You're 0 for 2.
You're not 0 for 3. You're 2 for 3. 1 for 3.
You're being generous, Suresh. Okay.
So this is it's a bacon two-parter.
Bacon two-parter.
The first one was the first bacon question.
Oh, okay.
This is the bacon question.
All right.
What is your best guess? What is the bacon agreement?
The bacon agreement. Now, part of me is thinking you're going to try and fool me here, and that it was actually a person named Bacon.
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's actual food bacon.
The bacon agreement.
I'll give you a hint. It involves the Second World War.
Okay, so it had to do with shortages, rations, or something.
Yeah, you're in the right mode there.
Suresh, any guesses?
Sorry, I'm stumped.
The bacon agreement.
Bacon
okay,
agreement.
So hold on, Matt. Don't be so quick to let me off the hook here. So the bacon agreement. I am guessing perhaps it was something to do with pork producers.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. And it was during the war.
It's also multinational.
So our soldiers were getting bacon from overseas instead of from Toronto pork producers. Is that close?
Sort of. It's flipped around a little bit.
All right. So tell me what it's about.
So the bacon agreement is that Canadian cured pork became so popular in Britain well into the Second World War that the UK, that the event was called the Bacon Agreement, which said the UK would accept no less than 5.6 million pounds of Canadian ham and bacon each week.
Oh, okay. Is that still in force? I mean, in some.
I'm not sure. I hope it is. Good for our agriculture. Yeah.
Where's the best female bacon sandwich, Suresh, in Toronto?
Well, I still think it's Paddington's in the St. Lawrence Market or the place next to it. The St. Lawrence Market is a place you want to go to for a female bacon sandwich, hands down.
Okay. All right. You got one more, Matt?
Yeah, one more. This is not food related, but still a good one. What inscription is on the Queen Street Bridge crossing the Don?
I know this one. Something about time. It's something about time. And it makes no sense. No, Parker, I'm not going to do that. Parker is trying to cheat. I'm just pointing him out. I know because I've seen it. And to me, it made little sense. And it surrounded a clock.
That's right.
And it's a relatively new incarnation. It was when they redid the bridge not a few years ago, a couple of decades ago now.
95, yeah.
Time flows underneath or something like that.
Pretty close.
What was it?
Any guesses there,
Suresh?
I was going to say time flies by.
Yeah. So it's the river I step in is not the river I stand in. The river I step in is not the river I stand in.
I remember reading that, and I was thinking,
what does it mean, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's pretty relative for COVID. And so this was in 1995. Artist Eldon Garnett was commissioned to produce an art installation called Time and the Clock. And so it was the river I step in is not the river I stand in. And it's borrowed from a Greek philosopher, meaning that change is constant in life and experiences.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I remember reading that. I thought there were other sayings they probably could have done. Okay. I want to point out the websites again. Let's start with To Go Toronto from Tourism Toronto. Tell me all about that one, Matt.
Yeah, togotoronto.com is a website that aggregates restaurants offering takeout and delivery across the city from corner to corner. Go on the website. We encourage everyone to use them any day of the week, but if you wanted to go on Takeout Day tomorrow, that's a great day to do it. Join the national initiative, support local, like we've talked about in this call. Our goal here, all of our goal collectively, is to ensure that the industry is still thriving when doors open up again. And the only way that's going to happen is if us as locals support those smaller restaurants, especially those mom and pop shops. That's where we're going to really have to put our weight behind. There's a great sense of community right now. And whether you use To Go Toronto, whether you use Suresh's site, whether you just go around the corner and hop into your local favorite spot, support local right now and really get out there and order your favorite foods and try something new.
Okay. Now, the other one, of course, is the very interactive map. And that's that strange address. So here it is, but you can just Google it as well. It's bit.ly/Toronto Takeout, or just Google, Google Maps Toronto takeout and delivery, and you will find it. I know Blog TO did a big write-up on it as well. So tell me about that one, Suresh.
Yeah, I mean, the idea is to kind of like zoom in on your neighborhood, and we need to be supporting more local restaurants, like Matt said, and the sense of community needs to come back. So this map allows you to kind of zone in on where you live and see who's open around you, and pump in your dollars to that place, because when we come out of this, we need those small businesses to survive. Restaurants are pillars in our community, and this is the only way we'll be able to support them and keep them alive and sustainable.
Okay. I'm not going to ask you guys for your favorite restaurant. I don't think that would be fair right now. What I want to ask you both for is a cuisine suggestion that maybe something someone hasn't tried. So I mean, Japanese has been very, very, has been so popular lately, so don't pick that one. I'm thinking about maybe up and coming. What is going to be the next ramen? Do you think? Best guess.
It's tough. I mean, I'm not a food expert, but I will say, there's been this real current trend about fusion food. And so I think that's going to keep going over the next couple of years, is really combining different cuisines and testing different things out and seeing what lands.
Hey, Suresh?
I think we've done some really amazing things with Mexican food lately, regional Mexican food. There are a lot of families, St. Clair West, downtown Toronto, North York, that are doing really interesting regional Mexican food. And we've seen way more stuff in the city in that category than any other food in the last couple of years. I think, I love traveling to Mexico City and traveling to parts of Mexico. We're getting foods that we've never had before because we've had ingredients that we've never had before. That's the most exciting cuisine for me right now.
And the thing is that it's like Chinese food, right? Is we get conditioned to believe what Chinese food should be, or what we think it is. It's been very North Americanized. And that happened with Mexican food as well. And then you start getting these incredible dishes. And I've had some Mexican food, some real Mexican foods and regional food. And it's a far cry from tacos and that we're used to. And same thing with Chinese food. There is some incredible Chinese food that is a far cry from just sweet and sour chicken balls.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think we're learning about a sense of regionality. As you go from town to town, city to city, the food changes and evolves. And we're getting access to that in Toronto, which is such a privilege, right?
I think, especially during COVID, I think we talked about this last week, there is such a thirst right now for authenticity and for, no BS. People want it straight. They want it real right now. And that connects to food as well. People want authentic dishes, and they can get them just about every possible food in Toronto and then get the best they can ever possibly have.
I did a biz bump. I can't remember what it was. It was about 3 or 4 weeks ago, so I don't know if I can look it up that quickly. But I'm really sorry. It was somewhere, I believe, up in North York. It was an Indian restaurant that cooked with healthy ingredients, and it was true Indian food and good. And do you remember that one, Parker, at all? Oh, darn it! Would someone
on what street?
Oh, I don't know. Does anybody remember? I'm gonna go to our viewers. Does anybody remember the name of the Indian place? I believe it was in North York.
So is it Avenue Road, Yonge Street?
I don't know. Someone, and I'm getting other suggestions here. Vietnam soup, fish and chips. Yeah, okay, all right. Where's the best fish and chips? I don't mean greasy and all that. I mean like really good, authentic, good tasting fish and chips.
There's a place on St. Clair West that I find is really, really good. The name of the place it's called Sea Witch.
Okay. That's easy to remember. Okay. I don't know if anybody remembers. Come on, guys, you got to help me out here because this place was so incredible and they were working so hard to remain open. I'd love to give them another plug.
Is it a tiny place?
It was small.
Describe the surroundings.
I wonder if I can find it.
Is it near the highway?
It was Suresh is doing, what is it called? Oh, Karma. Is it the Karma Bowl? I don't know. No, it wasn't I don't. Maybe it was. Let me see. The Karma Bowl? Well, let me see that one. Yes, it was the Karma Bowl. Are you familiar with the Karma Bowl?
No, I haven't been there. No.
Okay. Yeah.
Karma Bowl.
1036 Kingston Road. I thought, why did I think it was in North York? Okay, 1036 Kingston Road. So it's out. It's out in the east side of things. But yeah, the Karma Bowl, run by a husband and wife, and fantastic, and very, very healthy food. You don't have that heavy taste after or that oily taste after. So, guys, I want to thank you so much for this. I want to thank you both for what you're doing for local business. And this is so important right now. We're trying to keep ourselves healthy, so we're doing this isolating, but we're also trying to keep our economy somewhat healthy, and what you're doing is very important.
Well, thank you very much. I mean, sorry, go ahead, Suresh.
No, thank you for having us. I mean, I think it's a do or die situation for restaurants right now, and I think anything we can do to help these small guys kind of just stay alive, I think we'll reap the rewards in the future. I really want to push the notion that we should support that small mom and pop shop in your neighborhood. So, when the weather's nice this weekend, go for a walk and see who's open around you, and just show some support to the little guys.
All right, thank you, Matt.
Yeah, I'll echo that and say, support the little shops. If you have a favorite food that you like in your neighborhood, feel free to grab it. Our websites are small pieces of the pie to keep restaurants open right now. There's so many facets that go into trying to support businesses right now. But if everyone can if they have the means to support, please go ahead and do so.
Yeah, that's all right, definitely. And don't forget, folks, both on the website and on the Google Map one, they're both Matt and Suresh are asking for you and your suggestions, and they're asking for you to update their data as well, because really these are labors of love, and it's not a huge staff that is working on this by no means. So if you can help them out, that would be wonderful, or if you want to add your restaurant. So thank you very much, gentlemen. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Gavin.
All right, talking to Matt McNamara from Tourism Toronto. Yes, and I saw Parker preparing the bacon avatar, and so yes, here I am. Yes, so Matt McNamara got distracted from Tourism Toronto, and the website is togotoronto.com. And, of course, Suresh Das, who, of course, runs the Food Report on CBC, is a well-known food writer and running that Google Map as well. So thank you to both of them for joining me tonight. And it's a call to arms, folks. It's a call to arms. We all want to help people. Well, we have to help these people as well. It's tough enough these days to run a restaurant, let alone without COVID and without isolation, without having to literally shut your bricks and mortar store where people can come in and sit down. So support them as much as you can. I don't want Suresh to be right. I don't want to see 30% of our restaurants fall because of COVID, but I think maybe he might be. It would be very much in our benefit to keep these restaurants open, and by patronizing them and supporting them. So yes, I know that you go to the big people all the time, the big franchises, and they need supporting too, but they have more leeway and more padding than some of these mom and pop places. So get to these websites. Search them, look for the small places, and order something tomorrow or Thursday, whatever your takeout day is, and order something from some of the smaller places. Who knows, you may find your brand new favorite. So thank you very much to both the gentlemen for joining me. And don't forget, tomorrow, Dr. Jason Fung will be joining us as well. So thank you very much. Take care of yourself and take care of each other. Oh, Kevin Bacon. Oh, yeah, okay.
COVID-19, why you do this to me? I really don't like being stuck in quarantine. I have no toilet paper, I don't even have a snack.